Hi, we're Moringaworks PSU. I'm David Martino, and I'm an agroecology major.
I'm Kate Orfall, I'm a social enterprise major.
I'm Kim Kalaki, I'm an economics major.
I'm Kyle Walker, I'm a mechanical engineering major, and behind the camera is Bill Nash, who is a civil engineering major.
So here's our initial problem statement. We have this plant called moringa, which is underutilized but readily available. It has leaves that can be dried and crushed into a highly nutritious powder, and its seeds can be pressed in order to put valuable, high-quality oils. The reason why it's not being used is because there's a lack of education, there's a lack of organization, lack of adequate technology, and insufficient access to the global market. So here we have the leaves. Now, these are the leaves that we leave in the village, and this is the benefit for the villagers in terms of improving their quality of life for their health. These are all the health benefits that you get from the leaves. And then what we would do is we would take the oil and sell that for them. So here's the introduction of the moringa oil. We can produce potentially 250 to 500 liters of oil per hectare, and we can sell that from $30 to $120 per liter. The fresh pressed moringa oil has a shelf life of 5 years with no refrigeration needed, which is great for transportation and great for storage. And it's because it has potent antioxidants that it actually is able to last that long. And it's perfect for inclusion into anti-aging creams and lotions, which is being researched right now by a lot of cosmetic companies.
Especially the high-end cosmetic companies. Right now, we noticed that the exotic oil market is expanding dramatically because the demand for nutraceutical products and high-end cosmetics has really skyrocketed. Just last year, the world export total was $36.5 billion. The U.S. was the 6th largest importer at almost $2 billion. But more importantly, it's between 2009 and 2010, this has been significant growth in the market, indicating that this is a good section to get into at this point in time. We'll be catching the wave, the early set, so we can be in there and established before the market fees are too high for entrance. So we are hoping to buy the oil at a reasonable price, but because we can sell it to cosmetic and pharmaceutical markets, we can make some sort of profit to sustain our business. And this would help advance interests in rural cooperatives in the South. Just in the world, because moringa can be grown just south of the equator, but also in Latin America and in Africa, so it has a big expansion possibility. And it's a more efficient market strategy.
So Moringaworks PSU's mission is to really act as a social enterprise organization who can partner with rural communities in the Global South to implement capacity building and economic development programs for the growth, harvest, and production of moringa oil-related products, meaning the leaves and also the seed oil. Our vision is to empower cooperatives to grow moringa, which would guarantee us a source of moringa oil that is produced closer to the growing site. This has several benefits. By producing oil in this way, Moringaworks PSU can create a more efficient supply chain by transporting less volume, the oil instead of the seeds themselves, eliminating non-essential business players who would be the middleman in traditional circumstances, and creating an experienced, loyal, and quality-conscious supplier base. After we've collected the oil can then be sold at an increased profit to cosmetic and pharmaceutical companies. All of this can be achieved while promoting capacity building and economic development in rural and underprivileged communities in the Global South. For our business model, we really want to put forward an emphasis on social enterprise. We want to apply commercial strategies to maximize improvements in welfare rather than maximizing profit for shareholders. We aim to do this by adapting a for-profit model where we work with communities to set up agricultural cooperatives based on the production of moringa. We want to facilitate the at-cost purchase of seed oil press technology through microfinance model, either through our organization or through partnership with another microfinance organization. Then we aim to purchase the oil from the cooperatives at a fair trade price and bring those oils to market to sell for profit to larger companies. This will ensure that our cooperatives have a market for their oil and also that we can remain a for-profit organization. We have several partners currently. We are partnered with the Engineering Leadership and Development minor at Penn State University, which will help us facilitate the production, development, and research on the seed oil crust itself. We're also partnered with Sunu Harvest, who's located in Senegal, Africa. They are a well-established business who's already exporting moringa leaves to the United States, and they've agreed to host us for R&D purposes in Senegal when we travel. We've also recently partnered with Mohammed Abado, who lives in Ethiopia, who is well connected with multiple cooperatives in Ethiopia and elsewhere in Africa. Some of those cooperatives are well organized and currently receive help from other NGOs, but others lack the sufficient organization and technology, which is where our firm could really come in.
Okay, so here's a basic timeline of our business plan. We already have a design for a manual machine to extract seed oil. So we're going to begin construction of the prototype beginning in January of 2013, test the prototype, travel to Senegal to do some field research and some field testing. Then we'll begin the process of searching for a community to possibly work with. And once we select that, we'll be able to travel to that community and start working on building a team of leaders within the community and educating the community on how to use this device and how to best harvest the moringa plant. At this point, we can begin planning, and after a period of gestation, we can have the harvesting and the processing of the moringa oil, at which point we will purchase it from the community and distribute it to our potential buyers.
Okay, so this graphic here, slides for this, we have our cost breakdown. This is not the pro forma, but this is generally what we're looking at for estimations for costs. And at the bottom is the only place where we would get revenue, and that's just from the oil. Even though earlier we talked about the benefits from the leaves, at this point in time, we feel like that would be too big of a venture.
And the leaves are just going to stay within the communities, and they'll get to utilize them in their diets.
So as a plus, it benefits the workforce and helps create loyalty between, our workforce and us, because we're helping their nutritional needs. That being said, we looked at barrel prices and other prices down. This cost right here is just for the oil press, but will be repaid with microfinances. Note the X's in here, there's down here. The X's represent number of farms. And using this, we calculated our break-even point to be at 2 farms. And so for the next slide on pro forma, which one? Just going forward. So using the pro forma, we assumed just starting with nothing. The cash inflow, this is our possible revenue given just using 2 co-ops.
At the end of the year, at the end of the calendar year.
That's the important thing to note, because the cash outflow happens before we get any money in. So while at the end of the year we'd end up with a profit and with no needed borrowing to break even at the end of the year, we still need some startup cash because it's a bit hefty for college students.
And the important thing to realize is that with all these estimates, we were extremely conservative. When we were talking about cash outflows, we would round up either to the nearest 10, 100, or $1,000, depending on what the cost was. And then for the inflows, we would always round down. So this is a really, really conservative estimate on how much money you can make within the first year of just having 2 farms, which is very doable because we're looking to work in the country of Ghana. And in Ghana, the way the villages are set up, they're really close to each other, so the proximity to working in villages is not hard.
Additionally, the benefits is that we used the low-end estimate of the selling price for oil.
Yeah.
However, because the production is really close to harvest, we will have a very high-grade oil and we're looking to aim at
Closer to that $120.
Yeah, established
Leader.
markets that will be willing to pay for quality.
That's it. We hope you enjoyed that. Thank you.
Thanks.